Shifting gears now, this year's Shangri-La Dialogue kicked off in Singapore today amid stalled denuclearization talks between Washington and Pyongyang, and as Seoul tries to patch up soured military relations with its neighboring countries. Her Kim Ji-yeon reports.
One of Asia's biggest annual security meetings, the Shangri-La Dialogue, opened in Singapore on Friday. Major players participating in the 18th Asia Security Forum are set to discuss pressing security challenges in the region, including the stalled denuclearization talks. What's noticeable this year is that nuclear envoys of South Korea, the U.S., and Japan are expected to get together for the first time in 3 months. The meeting comes at a time when negotiations between Washington and Pyongyang are at a stalemate and have been since the Hanoi summit between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and U.S. President Donald Trump held in February. Seoul's Defense Minister Chung Kyung-do is to make a speech during the annual event, placing emphasis on easing tensions and building trust on the Korean peninsula. It comes in line with Seoul's efforts for denuclearization through a peace process and improvement in inter-Korean relations. The ministry also said it seeks to improve soured military relations with neighboring countries by holding defense ministerial-level meetings on the sidelines of the forum. A bilateral defense ministers meeting between South Korea and China is to take place for the first time in 8 months. They're expected to patch up ties following a diplomatic row stemming from Beijing's opposition to Seoul's decision to deploy the U.S. THAAD anti-missile system in South Korea. Official communication channels have been restored as seen in bilateral working-level talks held last May, which was the first such meeting held between the two sides in more than 2 years. A defense ministerial-level meeting between South Korea and Japan is in the works as part of efforts to restore military ties between the two countries, which worsened after Tokyo claimed a South Korean warship locked its radar onto a low-flying Japanese maritime patrol aircraft late last year, a statement Seoul has strongly denied. South Korea is also slated to hold a trilateral defense ministerial-level meeting with its U.S. and Japanese counterparts on the last day of this security event on Sunday. Kim Ji-yeon, Arirang News.